Emily, you've worked with founders, developers, creative leaders. What's the biggest challenge or mistake you see operators make when they're trying to build a meaningful brand? Say in the first 12 to 24 months when they're just getting set up.
Playing it safe. Playing it safe, looking at what other people are doing, saying, and just kind of following that formula. I think that that's when things become stale, when they don't feel authentic to you or your operation or how you work. Just because you've seen somebody else succeed with something doesn't mean that's going to work for you as a founder, your team, where you're kind of based. I think also taking risks. So not like trying to keep everything as perfect and polished as possible. It's like, well, no, try something, get feedback, iterate, in that kind of developer mindset. You're not getting it right all the time. You can ship with it in a certain place. At least it works, and then it evolves. And then I think a brand starts to feel really authentic, more sticky. People will have more loyalty to it if you're taking people on that journey too. So a lot of people still think brand is just a color palette and a logo and brand colors and a shiny website, and it's not at all. And I could talk about this for ages, but it's about how every decision that you make, it's about who you hire, what you do when that person's leaving, how you behave in, kind of that process. It's about how you treat clients when they're leaving. Are you angry at them, or do you say, great, like, it's been lovely to have you, like, see you soon? It's about how you actually act and how you operationalize brand, because brand is about what people say about you when you're not in the room. That it's not a
exactly
logo
it.
and the color palette. And I think that's why I've brought people like Coral last year from the Ready House to Juicy, or Dean speaks very eloquently on it as well, because they're the types of people that really truly understand it, and they can talk to it much better than I can. But I just want to educate people a little bit more on brand. Yeah.
And that was actually a question that I have for you, right? So if there are operators who are struggling to articulate their brand beyond the functional, they're thinking about the desks, the Wi-Fi, the coffee, like what's a concrete step that they could take today to build a brand that people actually are going to care about?
I think that, one way is really to look at a kind of brand strategy, like in a really practical way. We obviously live in a day where you can get any of the information that you want. So have a look at a brand strategy, answer those questions yourself as honestly as you can, and start putting it down on paper so that you can understand, like, why are you even doing this? Because I don't think you open an indie co-working space to make a quick buck, right? Like, there obviously has to be a reason as to why you're doing it. So I think if you can write it down, go through a bit of a process like that, would really help you to be able to articulate it, saying it out loud to people, finding the moments that bring you joy, kind of weaving that in. And then obviously working with a professional that can articulate it, and a shit hot copywriter that can make it sing is obviously a way of doing that.
Yeah. It comes back to, I think some people where you've described it as, some people just kind of, they open the doors, they're naturally hospitable, naturally welcoming people. And for them to sit down and articulate their brand would be incredibly difficult, because it works because they work and they get it just innately. But it's like, people are naturally gifted at sport. It doesn't mean just because you're not naturally gifted at something that you can't learn the skills and improve on those as well. I think people need to keep that in mind when it comes to things like brand.
Yeah, a lot of people think, oh, brand, that's creative, or I'm not a creative person. And that is absolute rubbish. Like, anyone can, as you say, like, learn the skills to do that, or, take the steps in order to feel more confident in areas that they're not.